Happy Friday. How's
Happy Friday,
everybody
everyone.
doing? Yeah.
Good afternoon.
We have with us a special guest today, James Long. Me and James have been buddies online, mostly because James just like does as much random projects as I do, and I just love it. So I, of course, just commented on everything that he did. And what do you know? Now we're friends. I love how the internet works like that.
Actually, I'm really
James,
grateful for that because I'll do something stupid. And I'm like, I shouldn't be spending my time on this. And you're like one of the few people that responds and is like, that's great. It makes me
dude,
feel
it's
good.
so cool. Dude, I love that stuff. I love it. I love it. That's why and Josh does too. That's why we started this show, for like
Nice.
people like us that just love to make stuff, love to riff on things, and just like try to figure out how to just create things that pop up in their head and bring them to reality. So I have so many questions for you today, James. I'm not going to ask most of them, but at some point, I'm going to bother you about your recent announcement this week, along with the video, because I want to know like why. Spoiler alert: James, if you don't know, used to work for Stripe, and he left, and he's pursuing new things. We're going to dig into why he did that, why he was ready to move on. And I'm also like super curious, like what the response and like process has been since putting out like a video to announce it. But before we get into all of that, we always start out with what we've been up to this week. What you been up to, Josh?
Yeah. Good to see you, James, and good to be here, everyone. Happy Friday, Isra. Glad to have you in the chat. Yeah, everyone in the chat, hopefully you're having a great Friday as well. But yeah, this past week has been almost just kind of preparing. So I'm going to be kind of like on next week, I'm out at Wire Live in Buffalo. And then the following week is my daughter's birthday. So half of the week I'm kind of out too. So like I'm kind of preparing for having like 2 weeks
gone off the internet.
Work. Yeah. And I'll be connected and probably do a lot of stuff, and I'll be on
there's something about going out of town where like it's just so much easier to like work on stuff in a hotel room by yourself.
Exactly. And I'll be on the Riff and Refine show like both weeks anyway. So like we're good. But yeah, so it's a lot of like prep and just thinking through, okay, what do I actually need to get done and finish and do? And so yeah, I feel like I'm just playing catch up this week, or just making sure everything that was in my head has been put out, and like either I know that I have to do it and probably going to have to do it tonight or today, or gonna do later. And then this past week I also just had some 3D printing fun.
I was about to ask about the keytar.
I know, yeah. And you,
James,
like,
if you don't know, Josh is
a long-standing thing,
building a keytar from scratch.
That's amazing.
It is. It has been a fun process.
Goodness.
Was that? Sorry.
You all are my people. It's
there you go.
Great. We love it.
That's why we're love to have you on the show. I'm super pumped. So speaking of like 3D printed things, though, Will, I know that you opened a 3D printer finally. There you go.
First thing I printed. All right, this is the second actually. So yes, I finally opened my 3D printer. It only took like a month after getting it to finally open it. But yeah, I've got it. I opened it, printed the standard what's the ship called? Benchy. Yep.
Benchy.
Printed Benchy, just to make sure things were working. And then the first thing that I got the AMS on top, where it like lets you load multiple filaments at once. And I had watched a bunch of videos, of course, as one is wont to do, who loves to create things. You watch other people creating things. And I figured out that when it changes filaments, it like ejects the other color and like scrapes it. And it just falls out the back to like nothing. So
poop shoot, I think is what they call
it. The old poop shoot. So my first model was this, which it has like magnets inset into it. And it just goes on the back of the 3D printer to catch all of the detritus that comes out of the poop chute. But it was super fun because there are a bunch of models out there to like hey, here's a model of like one already made for you. And I was just like looking through all of them, and just the classic thing came up where I was like, oh, I just don't like this about it. I don't like this about it. And I was like, I know how to 3D model. Like, why don't I just actually open up a program and see if I'm like how rusty I am?
Yeah.
And I was pretty dang rusty. It was bad. It took me like 10 to 15 minutes to kind of get my bearings again. I like had to model it twice because I wanted to put this this chamfer on it.
Okay.
And I had originally modeled it as, and it's also got like a fillet down here, like a rounded edge. And so I modeled it as like 2 sketches. So I sketched it, then did an offset so that had like the wall thickness. And so I extruded the wall thickness. But then when I got to like adding the fillet and the chamfer, like you can't do that if you've already created the wall. So like I had completely forgot that that's how it worked. But as soon as it happened, I was like, you dummy. So like you have to start with like a solid shape and get your final outside shape that you want. And then after you finally got your outside shape you want, then that's the point in which you can hollow out your solid to get kind of like wall thicknesses on things.
Which program is this?
This is Fusion 360.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm more into like Blender and things like
Blender.
that. I'm assuming
do you do it for like modeling, like printing modeling?
No, my kids would love it if I got a 3D printer. They would go crazy. Our library actually provides like a class that you can come in and get like one free session.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
My kids have been asking us to do it for like 6 months, and I got to do it. But this seems like a dream, not just for like things I want to do, but for kids and all their imaginations.
Yes,
100%.
yes. Josh has 100% down the kids want me to print this on the 3D printer train. I have not let my kids kind of let know it exists yet, because it takes so long to print anything that I'm like, no, the printer time is mine.
And my kids are young too. They're 3 and 2, but they're just like picking out little models that have already been created. Or like we also did a thing where they drew one, and so then I printed that out, what their like little drawing was, and they loved that so much.
Oh, so fun. But it was my first print, and
there
like
you
can't see it, but like these are some chunky walls. And I was like, oh, it looks good on the 3D model. And then you go to print it, and like you see it being printed, and you're like, oh my goodness, those walls are so thick. And it took so long, like so much filament, and it took so long to like print. And I was like, oh man, I've got so much to learn about 3D.
Was that like just 7-hour print looks like?
Yeah, it was like 6.5 or something like that. And I was just like, it just kept going and going. And then I ran out of filament like halfway through on the roll, because they just give you these like intro ones. And luckily enough, I had already purchased like another orange, because I was like, I love that color. So I had a backup ready, but it just like ran out. I was like, yeah, this was poorly modeled. I need to learn about a lot more of the like details of like how to print the right thickness of walls, where you get the strength you need without overabundance of materials, etc. So lots to learn.
What's your dream print? Is there like a reason why you bought this? Is there like
there is not. I don't know if there's like a dream print. I think the dream is like I went to school for industrial design, which is like physical products. But then I got into like digital pretty soon after, and so I could work remote from Alabama. But I still love designing and doing like physical products and projects, and it just felt like the perfect extension to getting into like doing like small like consumer electronic style work again. So I've got like a couple projects in mind for doing like some Raspberry Pi stuff with some like 3D printed pieces that kind of go with it. But then it's like the more you get into 3D printing stuff, the more projects you see. There's a guy who lives in the same city as me, and he goes to church with me, and he's like younger than me, but he's super into like mechanics cars and like fixing cars and coming up with cars parts and stuff. Like brand new car parts is like what he wants to do for like customization. And he sent me this video this morning of this guy who built a 3D printed like machining mill, like metal machining mill. And it's like 3D printed case and then you like pour concrete into it to stabilize. It was like the coolest video. I need to share. I'll share the link in chat here in a little bit for people to check it out. But it was like, I just like watched that thing. I couldn't take my eyes away. I was like, man, there's so much you could come up with when you've got like the right tools around to like do things like that. So I'm just ready for my imagination to run wild. And then the very last thing this week is I've got a new office. Brand new room.
I was gonna say, like, this is a new background, new everything.
It is a new background. So I used to be upstairs at our house in the giant guest room that had like the giant window in the back, which was terrible for lighting. But we decided to move our boys into the same room.
Okay.
So, wow. A 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I didn't have my like hopes up, but it's like we wanted them to be in the same room together because we were like, man, they're gonna be best friends. If like they already love playing with each other, but like there's nothing like being like room buddies. No. And like they're really close in age, so we wanted them to be like really close just anyway. And so Allie was like, hey, what if we just went ahead and bit the bullet and tried it? I was like, fine with me. Thought it was gonna go like catastrophically horrible. It has been incredible. They both just like love it. They both go to sleep. They don't keep each other awake. They don't they don't like whisper to each other. Like literally the other night, Allie was in there she put down our 1-year-old and then went to go tell the 3-year-old goodnight. And like, he wanted her to like snuggle him for a minute. And our 1-year-old just goes, mommy, get out. Like, we're fine. Like, leave, let us go to sleep. And it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
But it's gone well, which means my new office is now our 1-year-old's old bedroom. So there you go. I finally have an office that is just mine. And then behind me, you can see the chair there, that will be like our new, the podcast that me and my wife do. That's going to be like our new podcasting place so that we can like have everything set up. We don't have to tear it down because it's in our dining room and build it back up.
You tear it down every time?
Every single time. Every single time. It is awful. It is truly terrible. And it's why like we've gone to like only doing it like once every other week because it's just like so much effort to put up. So now it's going to be in here. It can be set up all the time. And it's like directly behind my desk. So the camera doesn't have to like move. We'll probably have to like just update the lighting just a little bit, but that's what I've been up to.
There you go.
Lots of fun coming up. How about you, James? You've been up to quite a bit the last week.
So,
big week for you.
Yeah. I quit my job. That's the first thing. Technically, last what is it? Friday? Yeah, last Tuesday was my official last day. I took a little bit of vacation, so it actually feels like I've been off for a couple of weeks now.
Okay.
And things have been surprisingly busy. Like I was kind of looking forward to, I was like, I should take a couple of days where I just literally do nothing, play video games. But I had such a backlog of like, not even just like tech ideas, but just like the house projects and like a guitar sounds amazing. I was just like the 9 a.m. the day after I quit, I was like drywalling my office because I was like, I've always wanted to fix that. I've always wanted to
right.
So I'll have it done in 2 days. And it was like a week later, and
Oh man, my wife we know about that. Yeah.
Okay. Classic. So it's so classic. So this week, the idea that I just had to get out of my brain was, and it's actually more of a fun one than a house project. I'm building I'm turning my Weber grill into a fire brick pizza oven.
Ooh, okay.
And it's actually like going back to, it's definitely not industrial design, but like physical things and designing them is so hard and interesting because like there's like this fire brick that is hitting this grate. And it needs to be flush, but there's the grate that comes with my Weber. There's a perpendicular like rod that is hitting, and so there's like a 1/4 inch gap. Like, how do I solve this? And there's like 20 of those problems, and it's so different than like software where you can just like get AI to
the same number of problems, but like it doesn't require like 50 different physical actions to like solve it. It's all the same thing. You're all just typing text onto a screen.
It's fun, which is also why it's fun too. But I don't know if this really shows, but this is like, these are the fire bricks
Okay.
It's been really hard. I don't know if it's worth it. We'll see how it works. But I also have on top of this, so there's like some metal bars for the structure of it, and then this all started because my friend was gifted a Weber. There's like a Weber metal. It almost looks like a really big chimney, but it's like a big metal round thing. It's a pizza kettle.
Pizza oven attachment.
It kind of extends the grill up, and then you put the top on that, and then there's a little hole where you slide the pizza in.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like $250, and I was like, I have like some leftover like sheet metal. I should just like bend it into a circle, and I can have like the same thing. Two things happened. One, I realized in my research, I'm glad I saw this. Sheet metal, like ductwork sheet metal, is galvanized steel. And it's like poisonous. Like if you heat it up, it like emits fumes that will get in your pizza and like kill you. So
okay,
a little more fraught than just a software bug.
But yeah, I couldn't use that. But like the problem with my brain, and I'm sure that you all feel this too, is like, all right, so now I have this idea. It sounded so fun. So now I might as well do it. And so I went out to buy the sheet metal. I was like, I really want to like it doesn't work. The Weber thing doesn't work great because there's very little insulation, and you're trying to get up to like 900 degrees. And it when we were doing pizzas, we got it up to like 700, but then it just like cooled off in like 5 minutes. And I was like, I really want like some fire brick. And so I was figuring out how do I like attach the fire brick to the metal. And then I just ended up just doing the whole thing in fire brick. But I do have this aluminum casing. So I got this big sheet of aluminum and I bent it over into a thing that is going to slide over that structure that you saw to like fill up all of it.
I was going to say, keep it a little solid, firm.
So that's been my weekend. I think I've got everything done. I could fire it up this weekend and we'll see how high.
Does the lid go over all of that to keep a little more, or do you just leave it open?
I could do that, but I leave it open. Like the metal thing, which I don't have a picture, that kind of is the lid, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like
does it cover that front area too?
It doesn't cover the front area because there's another piece of metal that I could do to like close it some, but it's kind of just one of those fire brick ovens that like, it's all this crazy fire brick, but then there's like a really big opening in the front that you slide the pizza in and out of, and the heat can build up inside, and you actually
stay.
You design it such that the hot air is coming from the bottom and the back. And then that big opening in the front.
Oh, because it has to move over the pizza.
Exactly.
It got it. Okay.
So you actually want it to be open in the front.
That makes a lot more sense.
But that's my first big.
You could just see my brain's already working because I'm like, this does sound like super fun. Like that sounds like a really fun project.
It's not a ton of work. Like if I gave the hard work was like, what angles do I cut the metal? How do I cut the if I gave you my exact plan, it really wouldn't take that long.
Yeah, it's all the figuring it out from scratch parts that are more difficult. My wife always is like, it's always just like, why do you do something completely new instead of like doing another, like you learned how to do that thing. Why would you not do more of that thing? And be like, because I learned how to do it. Like that was the part that was fun. I learned how to do something new that I didn't know how to do before. And so that project will never be done again. And now we will move on to the next completely new thing that I've never done again.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I've got a question for you, which is you worked at, I know you from Actual. That's like when I first came across your online presence. When you mentioned that, like, when you shared the like Ryan Florence video at Remix Jam, where he was like, or created Prettier, I didn't even know that was you. Like that, I just didn't. I wasn't even aware. So that was really cool to figure out. But yeah, no, I knew you from Actual because I was like a big podcast listener. Being remote in Alabama, I have always like listened to every indie hacker, any like business podcast about software, and like Actual was like a huge one of those. And so I always followed your Actual story. But then you started working at Stripe. And then eventually you've decided to leave, and I want to know like why, what was the tipping point where you were like, I'm ready to go. Here's why. And like, here's what I'm looking forward to.
Sure. So I think, there was one specific tipping point. And I will explain it in just like a very brief moment, because it's not really like, that's not the thing that really tipped me over, right? I was like already pretty much ready to go. And it was just like one small thing. I was like, this is so frustrating. But worked at a company for 5.5 years. I mean, in the tech world, that's a really long time. There's something that happens when you are in the same place. We typically just get kind of restless and kind of want something new. Stripe had done a pretty good job at providing challenges for me. But there's still, it's one company has one culture and one set of problems, right? And so at a certain point, you kind of get restless. And as we've been talking about this whole time, like I'm the kind of person who loves to do something really challenging and figure it out. And it's like, okay, like I'm not the best person to work on that and maintain. That's why like I worked on Prettier for like 6 to 9 months maybe. And then I was just like, I've got too many other things to be doing. I'm really good at starting the thing. I'm really good at evolving the thing. I'm really good at like steering the thing and giving input to it, but I'm not the best to be on the ground, like working on those problems for like a long, long time.
Yeah.
And so some of it was just like really itching to just like having all this backlog of ideas and just never having time to do it. And I mean, maybe part of it is like, I think Stripe did not like, it was really hard for me to figure out a role that I think would have been a really good role for me. And it's kind of sad for Stripe. Like I could have been good at doing certain things at Stripe, but like when you get to that size of company, like things fall through the cracks. And when you're a remote person, especially, it's just really, you have to start navigating the political landscape and aligning. Just, you have to do like, I always think of it, there's like it's kind of like a gaming term. There's like a shadow realm of like, there's an organizational structure, right? But that's not the real structure. There's like a shadow realm that's like the real structure, and you got to figure out how to pull those strings to be like, oh, when this thing happens, James should be the lead of that thing. And I just could never like there were projects that I felt like I would have been really good at, or like initiatives that would have been new, but there was always just like this burning fires of problems that like needed an expert front end person. And so I was just like fixing front end bugs the whole time. Like this is not what I'm good at this, but like, man, I know when I look back at the last 5 years, there's design systems was a big part of Stripe for me. And I was like really, really proud of that. After that, all of the things I'm proud of were things I did on my own time. And like, I'm still trying to reconcile why that is. But it's like
things that you did for Stripe on your own time?
No, just
or like things that you just did that your own projects on your own time.
On my Absurd SQL was one of those things that like compiled SQLite to the web and that was for actual, because I worked on actual for like 2 years, my first 2 years at Stripe before open sourcing. But like Absurd SQL was this like crazy SQLite compilation thing. And like things you can do when you just have no constraints, right? No teams to align, no docs to convince the leader.
No stakeholders.
No OKRs.
It's crazy. So I just getting tired of that, to be honest. So Stripe is a great company. I will publicly say that. Like I'm not leaving like in anger at the whole company overall, but it's just like, I think when you're like us and you're just like really entrepreneurial, really wanting to like do things crazy fast, it's just really hard to stay at a company that's 9,000 people and there's like 2 PMs that have to approve every decision and then like all of that kind of stuff. So that is kind of why. And then there was one project in particular that I was like, we should not be doing this thing. Like this is just full stop. This is a bad decision for our team. And then that thing happened. And I was like I just need to quit. Like I need to move on.
Yeah. I feel that. That is like, I feel like that would be like, anytime the word political gets brought into like a job, it's like immediately like a ick for me, where it's just like, if there's a political landscape, I'm out. Like, sorry, like I'm just here to like build cool things with cool people and solve like hard problems that like interest me. Like I don't care for any maneuvering, be it political or otherwise, like
you're right.
It's always tough when you have like a really good idea and in order to actually start the idea, you have to get permission to start that idea. And then then once you're working on it, you don't even know if it's going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
Like I've never worked at a company that big, but even it's crazy how the companies I've worked at, like 300 people, like I felt constricted in that same way. Where it's like, hey, I know that this is good and I spent time, but now all of a sudden it's like, that whole 3 weeks of work or more is just,
we're not going to prioritize that this quarter. It's not a P0, so we're going to move on to the backlog that never sees the light of day.
Yeah, and it's sad because Stripe at 9,000 per, or maybe it's even like 9,500 now. At that size, it's even like, man, that stuff starts to show up on the performance reviews because the people high up don't understand that like you are really good at starting new things, and they should let you fail a couple times before you get that traction.
Interesting.
But then it's like, oh, James only worked on like for 6 months. So like, what did he do during that 6 months? And it's like, I mean, honestly, I quit at this time specifically because I was like, I can't do another perf review in December where I have to like justify. Like, I don't feel like I've lived up to what I want to do because I've been constrained by all these other things.
Right.
But I can't say that in my perf. Like, man, it's tough. Well, and there was like a year or two where I was like, I really want to get better at this politicking, right? And so it was kind of like a fun challenge.
Yeah, like it was the new, how do I figure this hard problem out? The hard problem was company politics. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. There is definitely some at Snowflake where I have landed. And I hopefully the way that I've thought about it is just like, let me just do it, which I've not run into what you're talking about, where it's like, okay, I have a very clear project that I'm supposed to be completing. So if I just do a good job at that, and share about that and show, like, solve the problems there, that'll be great. That's going to be done sometime like early next year. And after that is when I'm like worried, because it's like, okay, I no longer have a very clear thing I'm supposed to be building. And at that point, it becomes kind of like what you're talking about, James, where it's like dust in the wind. Like, where are they going to send me? What kind of problems are they going to put me on? Are they going to be things that I enjoy doing? Or are people going to, like, the people who make the decisions higher up, not going to understand the real value of where I could land? So yeah, definitely thinking about that a lot headed into next year. I want to know, you made a video, a hilarious video, I will say. That was so funny. How did that, like, why did you like decide to make that, just out of curiosity? And then 2, how has this week gone since sharing that video?
Sure. Yeah, it's been awesome. So I had this idea all the way back in like May, because I was like thinking of possibly quitting before the summer and taking some time in the summer. And then I realized my kids are going to be home in the summer. So I really don't want to do that, because
I want time off that's actually time off, not time off that's like more parenting.
Oh yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't, I wouldn't have time off really.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I kind of was like, I'll do it later. And plus, like, I wasn't quite ready. But I just like trying to do things that are kind of different than, what other people, I think it just kind of things that set you apart. And obviously this is a really important thing to kind of set you apart for, which is like, I'm looking for a new job. And so thinking through ways to do that, I honestly think probably that the idea that really, or the thing that really seeded this idea for me, is Aaron Francis, who's a huge inspiration to me, because he did this video like it was like a year ago or maybe 6 months ago. He did it, like I think he got laid off and he made a video about it. And tons of people it created kind of this like meta commentary that was like, this is the way you like show like how good you are. And I think that stuck in my brain, and I was like, that would be really fun. And then, I was talking, I have a friend, or like a brother of a friend here in Richmond who's actually who's a videographer for like VCU here. And I was texting with him. I was like, hey, can I pay you to help me make a video? And I started like, I don't know. It's hard to like, this is one of those things that's like, I've never done this before. It's kind of outside of my comfort zone. And I really did not like, I was saying this when I was talking to you about this, like very like close to when I was kind of working on it. Like if you do something that you're not naturally good at or something, but it's like visual and literally a video of you.
Of you. Yeah. You have to like see yourself.
It's like, it's very easy to be cringe. Like it's so,
like, it feels so cringe. Oh yeah.
So
it's
bad.
Awful.
So like, it could have gone really badly too. So I was pretty concerned about that. And as I was talking to my videographer, I was like, it just feels wrong. It just like, it's too produced and I'm not going to be able to, I don't know. I just, and so I was like, I need to just like, if I'm going to do this, I need to just like capture my authenticity, like, and who I am. Like, I'm not
so like what you originally had a completely different idea than what you released.
Not like content wise, not incredibly different. Like I knew there'd be like some funny things about me, like I don't know, like trying to figure out what I'm doing, maybe bothering my wife. But it was going to be like, my friend comes with like a real camera and like sets up a studio, and like maybe I'm sitting in front of
something that looks like super
and have a little bit more of a script that he has on like a teleprompter. And he like, this is where it fell apart. I was like, he's gonna like follow me around, and I'm gonna be like teasing my wife. It just felt totally like not natural, because like Sarah doesn't love to be in front of a camera, and to already have this dude she doesn't really know like in her house filming her, like I don't know. So the content wise not super different, but it's just like how it's made, you know. Because I do also like I love the design process, and partly being a designer, I'm like, I don't know, I would say I'm 20% a designer. I'm always trying to get better at it. So I like well-produced videos, which is why I thought I would get this guy to do it. And I was like, I should just like start it, and I delayed it, and then I was like, I just need to start filming and kind of see how it feels. And then that's when like Sarah, my wife Sarah, and I kind of started talking through ideas and like riffing on it a little bit, and then it just started to feel like really good. Yeah, riffing fine.
Things are better when you just start them and just riff on them. I've always found that like it is so easy to get caught up with, if you have the right idea, if all you're doing is just chewing on it in your head and you never put pen to paper, so to speak. But it's always like, as soon as you get it out of your head and try to like make it a reality, it like crystallizes the problems in a way to where you can actually like look at them and solve them in a different, like a completely different way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, especially if you have no experience doing that thing, like that's just, you gotta hit the metal at some point. And it's like, I
bet that was so fun doing that with your wife, like coming up with jokes together and like trying to film the jokes.
Yeah, it was great. There's a lot of like, I could probably make like a bloopers thing, because we're like doing something and then like we knew it didn't work in that moment, and so we would just both bust out laughing, and then we're just like,
dude, I love that. That would be sick to have like the blooper reel drop like a week later.
I should do that. So I was hoping that it would help. I knew like me leaving Stripe, I could probably hype that up a little bit, and I was just hoping that the video would help. And I think when I think towards the end too, I recorded the second half where I'm kind of pitching myself like the night before, like super off the cuff. I didn't even write it down, and that it turned into a little bit more of a pitch about what I'm good at than I meant it to be. But I was like, that's what I should do. Like, that's kind of the whole point of this, is to like, hey, I should just tell people that like I'm good at this, and if you're hiring, then hire me. At first, I was just going to be a funny video about me like leaving Stripe, but I was like, I should probably turn this into that. And so I did that, and then I guess it did well. I don't know if it was because I tried to structure, I structured the tweet like very succinctly and try to let the video just kind of do it. But yeah, it's great. Like 120,000 views, like 500 or 600 likes. I can't compete with Aaron. I think Aaron got like way more than that. But,
no, Aaron is
no one really can.
No one can. Yeah, like we all just nobody tries to compete with Aaron. It's not even fair. So
yeah, I mean it's good, but I'm super happy with what I got. Like,
it looked like it was extremely. You got a ton of outreach from it, from what I was reading.
There's actually I'm still going through it. There's still a lot of people I need to respond to. But like I think I got like 40 to 50 through emails, and then I mean probably about the similar through like Twitter DMs.
That's crazy.
Email me, you DM'd me.
I had people reaching out to me to be like, hey, can you connect me with Jay? Like, do you think he'd be interested? And I'm like, you can ask him. Awesome. I think what's so funny is like, you did something you've never done before, which is video. So you got to like learn this new technique, this new process,
medium.
You now have, like, you're not an expert at it yet, but like you have now gotten over the hump of having released something to where there's one less, like it seems more possible to do in the future.
Absolutely.
And so like there's that piece of it. And then what I always find interesting is like when you do things and like things hit a certain scale, like it's so easy to like start identifying patterns. And one of your tweets after releasing the video was so interesting to me, where you were like, hey, like one thing that I've noticed for everyone who's like sending outreach, you were like giving feedback on like how to approach you with like opportunities, because it was like, hey, like people are doing this and this is just not, I'm probably just not going to check it out because there's just so many coming in. Like you've got to be able to like do XYZ to like stand out. And it's like this, I just thought that was so interesting that like you went through this whole brand new process, and now like you're even like learning something and giving like sharing some new piece of feedback for like, I don't know, like I just love that kind of stuff to where it's like, you know, like
totally
nobody could have predicted this happening. You couldn't have predicted getting this much outreach, but not only are you getting outreach, but like you're learning lessons from how people are reaching out. Like, I don't know, super fun. I love that kind of stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, it is interesting. It's not like the biggest set of like data, but it's enough to definitely see that like just to get some very, very quick insights. I mean, it is funny because I think this is a little bit of a tangent, but I was also experimenting kind of with this idea. The more I did this, the more I was like, it's funny how you can act a certain way, like whether or not I'm desirable or, you know, people really want to hire me or not.
Right.
You can kind of act like you are, and then that kind of like turns it into real. And I find this, it's been kind of I've been processing this in just life in general. Like, like if you're not I don't know, if you're struggling with like, I don't know, if you're just a jerk or something,
right?
If you want to change yourself, sometimes just like telling yourself that you are something else, or changing how you present yourself is like how you can change yourself. And this is this is maybe I'm taking this like way too deep, but it's
no, dude,
take it deep.
This is awesome. Yeah.
I think I don't know. It's just interesting that like you can like change how like you can shape reality a little bit just by kind of just like acting that way. And like acting like I'm not trying to like I think I try to be humble. Like my main goal in life is to be like kind and humble. Like I'm not going to be like I'm better than you. Like I'm exclusive. Right. But there is a way that you can market yourself. I mean, my newsletter was kind of probably the more where this experimentation lied, which is just like I had this idea where like I do want to talk to people. I want to be like this is an idea that I had. Like I love that you all are doing. It's kind of like this format where you talk about what you did this week and how what you're going to do next week. Because whether you all do this explicitly or not, in your minds, you're probably thinking, well, last week I said I would do this, and now I'm talking about what I did this week. Does that match up with what I did last week?
Yeah,
kind of an accountability. I kind of wanted to do that for my newsletter. I was like, I'm going to say I'm going to do this thing and have a small group of people, but I made it like I initially said invite only, and that felt too exclusive. Like I'm launching this thing, but I'm only inviting a couple people. So I changed
only if you're my best friend. Sorry.
It felt like that's too far. That's just weird. So I changed it to like a wait list type thing, and it feels better because now I have a whole spread. I got emails and it dumps it into a spreadsheet, and there's like 100 people who are interested.
That's awesome.
And so now I don't know. This is a tangent kind of, but it's just like it is. I think like confidence and like pitching yourself is just so important. If you're trying to get a promotion or like talking about the politics at work or just like getting clients, like it's so important to be confident and just like really believe in yourself. And even if you don't, just try to fake it and kind of make it into reality.
Yes. Dude, you are preaching to the choir. I've had this happen about 2 years ago. It's always my wife, the running joke with Allie, she always says that I have undeserved confidence. She's like, you are so confident, but you have absolutely no reason to be as confident as you are. And she's like, it is both like one of your greatest strengths and also one of your greatest weaknesses, Will. What changed for me, similar to this, is about 2 years ago, I like didn't share much online. You know, like I didn't really like, I was still me, like I was still doing all these projects. I was still doing all this stuff, but I never shared any of it. I never tried to like make friends with people. I would just be a lurker, you know, on the internet. And I basically did kind of what you said, which was just like, okay, I don't think I'm this type of person on here, but what if I just tried to be like the people that I observe who are this way? Like, who are the people who are finding success here? Who are the people who are like making friends, who are like getting like not distribution, but like, and not like attention. Like I didn't want to do it to like get attention either. It's just like, I want to share things and have conversations with people. Yeah. So like, I want to be a part of like, I want to get in the mix. And so I'm like, what I was just like, what do people who are in the mix act like? What do they do? Like, how do they behave? And it was basically that, where it's just like, okay, just start doing that. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel weird, like commenting on somebody else's stuff, just being like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I love that. Or like actually DMing people and being like, hey, I followed your work for a while. Like, that work is dope. Like, here's something I've worked on that's similar. Let's be friends. You know, like stuff like that, where it's just like,
yep.
But if you just, like you said, just choose to be someone who like I'm going to send this and they're going to want to talk to me.
No.
You just like have to tell yourself that. And like, yeah, there are plenty of times where like you never hear anything back, but like that like completely changed my like trajectory on like socially with all like the internet friends. And I've always thought it's like, I want to know if y'all have run into this. Same with you, chat. Have y'all ever had this happen where you will have followed somebody just on like Twitter for a while, and like you will have built up your perception of who that person is in your mind, and then either you meet them in person or you see them on like a live, like you see them actually physically on like a podcast episode, some kind of show where you actually see their face, see them moving and talking and having conversation. You see like their actual like emotion in the way that they talk about things. And suddenly you're just like your whole frame of who that person was just gets shattered. And you're just like, oh, you're like completely different person than I thought you were, based on like, and like what you said made me think about that, was just like people's perception of you is something they've built up in their own head. And at any point you can shatter it by just changing the way you are presenting that perception on the internet, because it's so malleable when it comes to the internet. I don't know. Have y'all run into that or had that feeling happen?
Yeah, I've definitely had that. Like as James was talking, I was thinking of the same thing, because I think like that was my initial thing, was like, oh, I wanted to be known. Like, it's always nice when you become like the product expert or like this expert. Like, oh, if you're talking about databases, you talk to Aaron Francis.
Oh, Aaron Francis, the database guy. Yeah.
You're talking about, you know, like Prettier, you talk to James. You know, if you're talking about making weird glitchy designs, you talk to Will. And so it's like this one.
Glad to be known for weird glitchy designs. Thanks, Josh.
There you go. So like when I like started doing Laravel stuff, I was like, I'm way behind the curve. Like, there's people who have been talking about this for like 10 years. And so it was like that same feeling that you're talking about, Will, where it was like, I know this is what I'm passionate about and what I want to share, but I also don't know how to not fabricate it, but like get to the point of confidence where I'm like, oh, I can talk to this from my perspective rather than just from what I want to be of like this expert perspective.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's a weird feeling.
Well, now you're the OBS guy. You've officially solidified that.
I need to solidify that more.
People love that. Like, I feel like the things that you've gotten the most comments or the most attention on is every time you share like a process video of like how you do your OBS and recording setup.
See, it's good to hear that from your perspective, because maybe I should just like lean into that a little bit more.
Until you release videos about the keytar, then you get to be the keytar guy.
Oh, that too. I was gonna say, until I release my own OBS, and I.
Oh yes.
My competitor.
The competitor to all streaming. That is so restrictive. We've been talking about
sponsored by my product, Riff and Refine, sponsored by the product. There you go.
Yes, we've had the worst. Like, you can kind of see this like design that we have around our heads right now. And like, it was so hard to get that figured out. And then like, you can see how chat, like, I know you've been bothered by this whole time you've been watching, how like the chat doesn't actually fit inside the area that's supposed to be for chat and all this kind of stuff, where it's like, man, we've like, it's solving the, yes, we can stream to a bunch of platforms, but like as soon as you get into like advanced power user mode, suddenly it like falls apart, because there's not enough that we can do to customize it. And I feel like that's like the Achilles heel of people like us, where it's like, as soon as you start doing something, you immediately start identifying ways that you
find the limits,
something better or different. And that's like your new, like, hey, I'm so glad I started podcasting. Now I'm going to make a better podcasting platform. Like,
so well, was that the actual story for you, James? So like I actually learned of you from actual too, because I was I was and am still a longtime user of YNAB, and I was using it like in college, and then like there was that point out of college when I didn't get it for free anymore that I was like, I don't know if this is worth the money, and I started looking for other alternatives, and I used Actual for about like a year and a half.
Nice. Thank you.
And that's why I like found you, and I was like, oh yeah, prettier than that story. Well, was that your process for like building it? Was it something that you just wanted to build, or did you find, hey, all the other solutions don't work for me?
Yeah, it was pretty much just like a bad decision about like I can build something better because everything else doesn't work, or trying to do something.
It wasn't bad because now it is the thing. So
yeah, it's surprising how it's open sourcing it was cool, because now it's like its own little community, which is definitely pretty active.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a combination of both. But like, yeah, getting triggered by the like, I'm trying to do this in like YNAB. I think if they had like stuck around with the old YNAB in the desktop app and all that kind of stuff, it probably would have been fine. But it's like, man, they released that web version, and it's just like basic things you can't do, and I just can't.
What would have been so interesting? I think if you had started Actual like this year, like if you had this idea and you just started it now, I would have been so interested to see where it would have gone with like AI in the mix, like
true.
As if you had been building it, because it was like local first, which was so cool. Like that was like one of the big things that I was so like interested about, was like this like local first approach you were taking with the data and everything. And I was just like, if your data's local and like they have like local models that you can run and all this kind of stuff, like there's so many cool like AI and financial things that could have been, so like that would be a cool thing to have seen happen.
Yeah. It's still, like I am considering playing around with like a TUI version of like my own little personal finance thing. But again, I'm trying to just say no.
Don't get back into accounting software.
Yeah.
If you get into accounting software, you can just have Aaron, test it out for you, because he was.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fair.
I've
got a question for Emmett. Emmett, I know you talk with a bunch of people. How many people have you met on Twitter? You can put this in the chat at some point. How many times have you gotten on calls with like people you've just met on Twitter? Because I think Emmett is maybe one of the most prolific X users of all time. Like there are people I'm like, why is this person in my like feed right now? And it's because Emmett has like commented on it. And I'm like, how do you even know this person? Emmett knows everyone.
There you go. Yeah. My question for you, James, because you kind of talked about this process of like, and it seems like this was a before leaving Stripe, but then also like the topic that kind of came to mind or that you were talking about is like the confidence level topic. Is there any other topic that has like been front of mind like the last couple of weeks, or even just like something that you're excited about? Like what's a topic or a link that you've got for us?
So I think one of my big goals during this time off is I really want to get better at design. In fact, there's like a couple startups that were doing like some design stuff that I just would have loved to like collaborate with. But I'm more like design engineer. Like on my video, I was saying design focused engineer, because design engineer is an interesting thing, right? I think typically it means that you still have pretty good design skills. And I just feel like I'm really good at recognizing good design, and I can like do some design, but I just like, I can't sit down and start from scratch and build this like thing that everybody talks about. Like, I'm just not close to that.
You've got the taste, like you've got good design taste, but the actual like practice of design is where you could see like you want to get improvement on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I hope I have good design taste. It's hard to say. But yes,
well, everything I've seen has been good. So
yeah, well, thank you. So I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but there's some design things that were really inspired by recently.
Ooh, share.
One of the things, so I'm actually thinking about my office, I'm gonna build one of my projects and I promise my wife that there are house projects that I will get to for her first.
Yes, I also have a few of those on my list as well.
Yes, and totally fine, totally appropriate. I can't be doing my own little fire brick ovens all the time, but I'm going to build a light. I'm going to build a big. So I'm going to design my office as I hate for offices. I don't like recessed lighting. It's just like light just blowing like glaring at from above. So I'm going to have a really bright light, one big here, and then all the other lights will be like at eye level. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and so I've been thinking about light, and I found this amazing lamp, and it's
what's it called?
Where do I share this link? Do I share it in like chat?
You can put it in chat. What's the name of it?
It's the Jombus, Jombus tile block lamp.
Oh, shut up! I found this thing too. This is so cool. All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
There's especially yeah.
This is so cool. I've saw these.
This is like if Will King was still doing production design, industrial design.
Industrial design. This one is crazy. It's so expensive.
Hey, it's only $2,000.
I know.
But it's so cool. It's so big. This little video is what I saw.
Yeah, this was the one I was thinking about. It's so, look at that. It's so wild.
It's got like a little door in it. And then that little button, it's like the tile is the switch.
Just one of them? Oh.
Yeah.
It's just one of them. Yeah. So there's like this kind of like secret enchantment part, kind of component to it.
Yes.
Like how do I change the light bulb when you have to like figure out the tiles to open to change the light bulb? I want
my whole room to be like that. Like imagine if I press like one little button on this wall and like
it just like all lit up.
Green screen falls down or something.
This is such a cool design style. I know,
that lamp is it's so goofy.
It is. I love funky. Like me, when I like
that lamp reminds me of like a toddler.
Like it's a small child.
Yeah, it's just like just stubby and.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man. So yes. Okay. So the lamp's really cool. When I got this new office, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to do the full like Josh Siri, set up my background with something. So it's like, okay, there's obviously gonna be the set for the show. And I was telling Allie about it. She's like, why don't we just like go really funky with it? I was like, okay. So like we're gonna try to do that too. Like we're gonna try to bring a little funk to the office. We're gonna do what's called a drench, where like you paint everything the same color, like a dark moody color that's like going to be like a greenish grayish color, and you even paint the ceiling like where you walk in and the whole room is just like one drenched color. It's such a vibe.
It's amazing.
I love it.
But yes, the light. Okay, that light is awesome. What else you got?
Let's see, are we talking links? Oh, so there is like, is this what you want me to do? Just like send links,
topics, and whatever's on your mind. Like what are things that you're interested in? You're like, this is what I've been digging into lately.
See, yeah, we get to dig into your mind, but then you can just share like, hey, these are things like I actually want to talk about right now. These are the top of mind things.
Cool. That's awesome. I love it. So there's one more link that isn't and then there are one or two things that I'm really excited about too. Just do it in the studio chat again. Did you all see this this website that is the entire design is like an embroidery design? Like when you go to this website,
I think I saw this the other day on Twitter. Sharing screen again, reloading.
It's like the whole content is embroidered. It's so cool. I love this.
And the thread comes off of your mouse.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
That is
I remember seeing this.
Insane.
I love this kind of stuff. I'm like,
I want to know how they did this. This is wild. Did you look into how it's done yet?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I would guess.
Now I'm gonna dig in. Next week, I'm gonna try to break down how this actually works because I'm so curious.
I don't know. I mean, a combination of.
Look at that animation. It like goes out and in like.
It kind of follows the cursor a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
Good. I know. I love it. This interaction design stuff with the visual design too is so.
Oh, shut up. Do you see that?
Ooh.
Nice.
I wonder, is that CSS masks? Or are they two pictures?
I bet they're just two different pictures. That's what I would do.
It would be way cooler if you could do it on the fly with CSS masks, though.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or maybe it's like a shader, like a turn this into thread shader. That'd be wild, but I doubt it.
Shaders are getting popular now. Tailwind started using them, and then Will's like, I've been using shaders forever.
I've not. I've actually never. That's what somebody. So that thing that I shared on X.
Yeah.
Let's just go look at that. This, like, surprisingly, I did not expect this to pop off this week. I was just sharing it because it had been sitting around, and I finally made it live. This thing that I made.
Nice.
This was like a. People were looking at it and they're like, "Oh, cool! Like 3JS, like what shader? Like, how'd you do the shaders for the cubes and all this kind of stuff?" And I'm like, "My friend, like, this is
like I did it the hard way.
This is just 2D canvas, and I just did math because for isometric stuff, I've not gotten into any shaders or any 3D. But if we're talking about like shaders in 3D, this is like, I will get into it at some point, and when I do, it's going to be this guy right here, whose stuff that I like read from beginning to end. His all of his articles and everything are just like deep dives into like WebGL, WebGPU, and shaders and all that kind of stuff. It's just crazy stuff. Oh, it's so cool. So cool.
I love this stuff so much. It's so cool.
Yes, this one. So I want to figure out. I got to figure this out now. This is so cool. I love texture. This stuff like this where it's got like a actually real world texture to it is like some of my favorite stuff. I tried to do some of it with what is it? Wire.live.
Wire-live.
There we go. Like you can kind of see like a little bit of like the grunge texture, and then pulled in like a ripped paper vibe at the bottom of this like folder type thing.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I love trying to bring like texture to the web.
Yeah. My non-designer
I removed myself. That's not what I meant to do.
Input for this right now is Figma. I don't know how new this is, and Will, you're probably like, it's been there for a year, but Figma now has noise filter that you can just add.
That was this year. They announced it at like the last config.
That has changed so much for me. That and like the brush strokes has changed a lot. Like how I really
like good
quick little things I can add.
Sketch tools. They're really trying to start broadening. This was like before they went public, and you could tell they were like, all right, since we're not going to get acquired anymore, instead of getting acquired, we're going to have to then try to swallow the whole market. Yeah. What are topics? What are things you got going on, James? Those are great links. Fantastic links.
I love that.
Well, yeah, I'm looking just something that is on my mind is just being inspired by these kind of things so that I can, because I really want to redesign my website again. And it's just like, it's just a white background with some pretty graphics, but like, I really want to figure out my style. Kind of related to all this though too, like shaders. So I have a history, like 2010, like a long time ago when I was like just out of college. I would program in OpenGL and do the like really low level shader stuff.
Oh, okay.
Dang. And it's gotten so much better since then. Having all that foundational knowledge, I bet it'd be so fun to dive back in now. Still so much has changed too, but like I do like understand the fundamental concepts. So it wouldn't be super crazy difficult, but yeah, like it has changed a lot too. And I'm really eager to kind of get back into this stuff because the shader stuff is so fun. It is so wild what you can do.
And it's like like this stuff is so fun to demo and it looks so great, but it's like not actually that hard. It's like a little bit of math with like a 20 line shader. Like it's right.
That is just like, that's one of those things that I just don't believe. Like, I know it's true. Like, I know it's true. But you just see it and you're like, I even like read through some of the articles of stuff and I'm like, there's this classic cycle where before you learn anything, it seems like impossible.
Yeah.
And then you start learning it and it seems even more impossible. And like then your brain starts to hurt and you're like stressed out because you're like, I don't understand. There's so much to figure out. There's so much to learn. And then like you give it like a couple weeks and your mind just like chews on it. And then you come back to it and suddenly you're like, oh, never mind. Like this all makes sense now. Like I'm like, it's weird how like if you have to like give your brain time to like chew on new topics, and it like feels legit stressful learning new things. But then like eventually there's like whatever, it looks like the midwit meme, but it's like that's like the shape of learning where it's like, oh, this is like it's impossible, it's very hard, and then suddenly it's like, okay, like it's still hard, but I don't feel intimidated or like I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Often there's like literally like an hour where that click happens, and like pre-hour I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Afterwards it like shapes, something clicks and it all kind of falls apart, and it's just like, oh, that's how it works.
All right, I've got a question for you, James. How much do you use AI to help with your learning, or do you still do it the old-fashioned way?
It's a good question. I think this is like another thing that I kind of want to experiment more in my time off too, because I didn't use it a ton at Stripe. They were pretty good at having the tools available. They had Cursor, and more recently they did a Cloud Code available too. But like Stripe is just so esoteric, it was hard to like use. I use ChatGPT. Like I kind of am a conservative person tech wise. I just don't have time to keep up with all of the crazy, like there's all these different models, and if you use something like open code, you can like choose between like 20 models. And it's overwhelming to me. So I kind of stick with the tried and true. So like if I'm doing conversational research, I use ChatGPT. I have like the $20 a month plan. And then for coding, like Cloud Code is just king. Like you can't get like so many people I talk to, like other Codex is like really good at things, but it's just, it doesn't, my style is not, the way that I use it is fast and iterative, and Codex is more very slow and like keep churning. It'll do a better job, but it like takes an hour, and I just can't do that. Like my ADHD or whatever I have. Like,
yes.
You know, I'll forget about it, then come back 4 hours later and be like, oh shit, like.
That was what I was working on. Rats. Now I'm halfway through this other thing.
Right, exactly.
I forgot to accept like this one change, and now it's only stuck at 5% of the way.
Dude, that happened to me like 2 days ago. I was so mad.
It's so funny to me where like the biggest issue with most like development teams and people talking about like why they can't get work done is being forced to context switch at work. And it's just like the way a lot of people talk about using AI is by like basically forcing your context switching burden to go up 20x, where I'm just like, there's no chance actual people getting things done use AI the way that all the hype people say, because there's no way that like you can context switch between so many like things, threads of thought, and actually do a good job at each of them. Like absolutely zero chance.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is hype. I do think some people have built some interesting workflows. So this one thing that I do really want to try my time off is this. So like my core flow is Claude. So I use Emacs. I'm a super old grumpy programmer, I guess. And I don't know. I've tried this. I'm actually probably gonna make a video about it because I'm like,
I got into NeoVim, and now I don't use NeoVim because I use Cursor, but I can't not use Vim mode. Like when I stop using like Vim motions for stuff, it's like immediately slows down my process.
Yeah.
So I get it, at least from like the workflow perspective, you get used to a tool and how everything works.
Yeah, I'm very embedded. Like there's a Git interface in Emacs that I find better than most other things. But I have this thing called Workspaces where I can hit Command 2 and it like completely like all of your windows and things like that, and it's like a fresh workspace, right? It does share the buffers. That's something that I hate about VS Code, is that when you split the screen, that the tabs are like different. You can't like go to the second one and then switch back to a file you were looking at in the other one. That's why I can't use VS Code. I'm so used to Emacs is like there's buffers, and it like I think Vim has it too. And you can split the screen in all sorts of ways, and between all of them you can be seamlessly going through. It's all the same buffers, right? You can open up the same buffer in two windows, and But
Z editor does like a really good job of trying to bring in that concept to like a more IDE style editor.
I need to try Zed. Yeah. In fact, company reached out to me from my video and I was like, do you want to work at Zed? And I was like, that would be really cool. But it was not really Zed that code editor. It was like some other stupid.
It was something else. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so disappointed. Anyway, yeah.
Would you like to work at Zed? Oh, really? Well, we're not Zed, but we're like it. But we're off-brand Zed. Yeah. Would you like to come join our team?
But so to go back to AI, I have Claude Code in like my second workspace. And so I'll have the first one split up in the way that I'm manually writing code. And I probably manually write still. But I can't even give a percentage because it depends on what
it varies on the task.
It varies on the task. Yeah. Task feature. If it's a very new thing, then I'll get it to spit out like 1,000 lines of code, and I'll just like review it and scrap it all, and then like get it to like. But once they're like, I am still absolutely like when I'm getting serious, like I will write 95% of the code for sure, and I'll ask it to help me with some grunt tasks. So that's how I use it. And the Claude Code integration in Emacs is nice because it knows what it's kind of like Cursor. It knows what you've selected. It knows what file you have open. Like it's deeply integrated into Emacs. And
that's interesting. That's awesome.
I can highlight 5 lines and be like, hey, like this div like isn't rendering the right way, and it'll like tweak the CSS to be the right way. It's when you're one of my favorite things. Sorry, this is the last thing I'll say is I will write a style. I will write. I like Tailwind. I don't love writing this class. I actually like a style block. So it's like style equals the open curly brace, and I'll like list all the like CSS properties as like JavaScript.
Some people like bespoke CSS. It's okay.
And then I'll highlight that style block and I'll say just turn it into Tailwind class names, and then it does
that's good. I really like that. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's a good one.
So that was going to be my question is like, as you're writing manual code, what's your do you do a lot of like tab autocomplete and stuff like that, or is it more of like the highlight edit?
It's definitely more of the highlight and edit. I actually don't use tab complete, and
I was gonna say I would be curious if tab complete's got that deep of an integration in Emacs with like with any good model.
I don't know what the status of it is because I don't tend to use those models or like that like that model of working. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I'm wrong in this. I just
we love an opinion.
This is definitely probably a little spicy, but like when I'm in the mode of writing code, and I'm like, you could turn it on and off, and if you could turn it off, and that's fine. I don't want to be handheld writing code. Like I want to.
Yeah.
Right, like
that's really funny.
I want to be stuck, and then I want to be intentional, thought about it. And when I want to pull in AI, it knows where my cursor is. I can say, listen, like. I don't feel like doing this. You do it for me, but I don't want that
to be intentional. Yeah.
That grayed out suggestion because I don't want that to influence me. I think that's but I haven't honestly. I haven't used it a ton. So that's
Zed. I actually really like how Zed is done. I don't know if I haven't used VS Code in a while with autocomplete, but I like how Zed has kind of started to implement almost like that, where you will have to press Option. See the autocomplete that it wants, and then you can tab. So a lot of times, like it's not even gonna like pop it up at all. Like you have to press something in order to do it. So I'll do the same thing where like I'm writing code, but then it's like, oh, I have, I don't know, the 500 states that I want that I need to do use state for. Then I'll autocomplete and just go through that way. But then as soon as I remove Option, I don't get that pop up anymore.
Yeah.
That's
I like that. I like that flow.
Same. That would be fine.
I agree. That's a good opinion. I like that idea of like
struggling,
being intentional. Yeah, like I think the thing that makes so much sense to me there is like influencing where your thoughts go. Like your coding, and this like matches with like my approach to AI, which is kind of what you said, where if I don't have anything written yet, I use AI to help me write the thing. Then I look at how it wrote the thing, and then I will rewrite usually most of the thing to find like a system. And then once I've like nailed down the system, then I like use AI to like add more things that match that system. So like that works really well. Like at Snowflake, we've got like a Go backend that uses like gRPC with like a React router front end, and the Go layer has like, it's like very, very uniform. There is like the database, and here's all the like query files that match this type of pattern where it's like a SQL query. You parse the response, you return it as like a struct. Then there's this like layer of files where it's like you're just taking the struct from the database and converting it to like what the proto is, like the API definition is supposed to be. And like it is very uniform across all those. Like, yes, there are different features, there are little details that are different, but you can basically at this point just say like, hey, here's the query that I need to be run, and all the like take all the arguments and like pull them apart, make sure that it's got the right data structures. This is the proto definition that's expected, like the contract that's expected at the API level. And you just say, like, you give it those two pieces of information and say, look at these folders for reference. And it like spits out like almost perfectly every single time, like the exact new feature, because you like, it is so like, we took the time to systematize it in a very uniform way. And like, I think Go also helps with that, because Go is like, you can't get clever with Go. Like Go has like very few abstractions in it, because you just have to write Go the way Go is written. And like, it helps a lot with AI stuff, because it's like, well, you're going to write the whole world anyway. So like AI is really good at being able to like parse that and copy it.
Totally. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Like the simpler something can be, the kind of, it can't go wrong. Like there's less chances for it to go wrong on things.
Yeah. That's why I've been hearing a lot of like people who like use effect, or like AI is really good at writing effect, because effect is kind of the same way, where it's like, there is a contract, there is a pattern for how things should be done. And like, that's been like one of the big problems with like a lot of JavaScript projects in general, is just like, you can do it any way you could possibly want. There are so many options and approaches for like how you might want to do the exact same thing as somebody else. So like in the world of AI, the faster that you find patterns and like solidify patterns, the better AI is at helping. But then, as with all things, if you start finding patterns before you've actually nailed what the final result is going to be, then you're in for just like a lot of ugly tech debt. As you try to like make abstractions that don't actually fit.
Yeah,
but
really.
So fun. That's like why I love what we do.
Same. Yeah. Have you all seen the Steve Ruiz? I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name. The creator. Yeah. He posted a YouTube video that was just insane. It was amazing. He was kind of like being intentionally extreme in like how he used it and like how he talked. It was really funny, but he like showed how he used like 4 or 5 different. He fired up like 4 or 5 different Claude code instances, and just had it just going at it all, like not using work trees, like all in the same thing.
Really,
he was vibing, and in like an hour, he got it to basically build this little whiteboarding tool.
That's cool.
And it is like, man, there is something to that. Like if you have an idea. But like the problem is that they can override each other, and I've always wanted to try this idea of like, what if we use like a single like locking mechanism, so that agents could know it's like, you remember, I'm an older programmer, but there's a source control thing called SVN subversion.
Yep.
This is before Git, and so this all the way back then, the way that it worked was locks. Like it would be a centralized lock. Or maybe Subversion didn't work this way. Maybe this was CVS, but it would be like when you wanted to work on a place in the code, you would literally check out the file from the source. I was
gonna say FTP. Like this is, I'm currently working on this from the server. No one else can.
Nobody else can. It's totally locked out. Like what if we did something like that with agents, to where like, hey, like, is there other agents writing code in this folder? I will like wait for that lock to be released. And I've always wanted to try this, like.
Because they move so fast anyway. It's not like, the reason why it was like such a pain before is because like you're waiting for a human to finish and remember to put like check their work back in. With like agents, like they're all moving so fast anyway, and they know how to unblock themselves as soon as that like files available. That's such an interesting idea.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, is that like one of your, hey, I want to like follow the rabbit hole on these while I'm like not working?
Basically, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a pretty small one. I could try
it. It is pretty small, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead. It's, as Josh is well aware, it is Family Friday for the Kings. That means I'm off to pick up the whole family. My youngest, he's with my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, and
you said it like the weirdest way.
That was possible. The weirdest. As soon as I said it, I was like, that felt weird. So my mother-in-law keeps our youngest. She's kept all our other children, and every Friday, like they learn a new letter every week, and then they make a dessert using that letter. So cool. Family Friday is I go pick everyone up from school, and then desserts. We go pick up our youngest from my mother-in-law's, and they have a dessert. They're waiting for us. So
that's amazing. That sounds great.
It is, but that also means it's time to wrap things up. So I'm not late. So James, what you got going on next week? What are you going to try to do next week?
I'm going to talk to a bunch of companies. So next, like I didn't intentionally set up any meetings this week, just to space. Talking to some companies, finish my fire pit or my fire brick oven, and maybe do the clock.
There better be pictures of the pizza on Twitter, otherwise I'm gonna get mad.
You don't have to answer this, but I'm curious of like how many you already have scheduled for next week.
I accidentally left my cal.com open, and I have like
dun 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 dun.
Every single block was filled up. It's a great position to be in, and I'm very grateful. I canceled most of them, so I have like talked to one company so far that is on the top of my list, and then I think I have like 4 others scheduled for like
Monday, like, that's great.
Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll like there's others that I can if I'm still interested keep talking. And like all of these are not offers, right? These are just people interested
in chatting,
introduction kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
That's going to be a busy week. Best of luck. I have always found that like the most exhausting work is when I have to meet a lot during the week.
Talk about yourself.
I could code and I could design like nonstop for a whole week and still be energized most of the times by the end of it. But if I have like a meeting heavy week, I'm just like gassed by the end of it.
Same.
What you got going on next week, Josh?
Yeah, next week I am going to be in Buffalo, New York for.
Oh yeah, speaking at Wire Live.
Speaking at Wire Live, I leave Monday morning. It's a long trip. It feels longer because of the time change. So it's 3 hours from Arizona to. But then I think it's a like 4.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 hour. 4-hour flight, maybe kind of thing. It's a direct flight, so it's not too bad. But it's like
7 hour difference. Oh, dang.
Yeah. Leave here at 9 a.m. my time, and I get there at 5 p.m. It feels like the whole day is gone.
But then like you're not traveling that long, so then suddenly you're thrown off.
I'm not tired. It's gonna be a little weird, but it'll be a lot of fun because I think there's 150 people. I think something around there. They're gonna be for the conference. So I'm super pumped.
Surprising number of people for a first year conference for sure.
Yeah, awesome. First year conference, a little bit last minute kind of thing. But I'm pumped to see the people there. Great amount of like speakers that I'm excited for. So like I'm mostly pumped to hang out, but then I'm also just excited for my talk as well. So I'm talking about the edge of nonsense is what I'm calling it. It's basically about.
Great title. I love the title, even though I don't know what this talk's going to be about, but I want to hear whatever it is.
Me too. No, I intentionally titled it where I knew like the 50% of the direction I would want to go, but like I wanted to leave it a little bit generic just in case like any new ideas came to my mind kind of thing. But mostly I'm sharing my own story of like coming to Livewire and like how I knew JavaScript, but then all of a sudden I started to choose a PHP front end instead of JavaScript. That I knew. And the reason for that. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And then into next week. That's probably about it. Like I feel like that's what I'm doing. And then I'll probably have some fun.
That's a pretty busy week. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'll probably have some fun like personal projects that I'll try to do like on the flight or
always. 4 hours. You always try to pack it in. You always try to pack it in when you're out of town. Always fun to get a little side project going.
So we'll see. Maybe I can make a little bit more progress with the modeling. That's my weakness.
That's actually really good. That's honestly a good way to spend the time because like you don't need internet to do it, and you can just kind of mess around with the tooling. Yeah, that's smart.
How about you, Will?
Cool. Next week I am going to hopefully get the office set up the rest of the way, and I'm going to submit 2 conference proposals for React Miami. So I've got to get those written up. I submitted one for React Miami last year and did not get accepted. And then went on, it was like, but I'd not done any conference talks. And so I was like, that makes sense. And then I went and did 2 conferences last year and loved it, had a lot of fun. So I want to do them again next year. And so I think I know a lot better how to like make a proposal for something that they would be interested in. So I'm gonna try and do that for 2 like very, very different topics. So we'll see how those go.
Nice. Conferences are super fun. I used to speak a little bit too, and I want to get back into that too. You
have to because we need to end up at a conference together so we can hang out in person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Isra, are you going to submit to React Miami again as well? In the chat, Isra. Because if you are, sick. Hopefully, fingers crossed, both of our dreams come true and our conference talks get accepted because that'd be so fun.
There you go.
Cool. Well, that's it. That's all we got. That was a great show. Thanks for coming on, James.
Thank you.
Another
so much.
Riff and Refine where we riff and refine on the most random of rabbit holes all around creating and making stuff. So we thank you for joining us. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Happy Friday.
Absolutely. Bye.